The worst year for a lot of us for our mental as well as physical health. So joining us this morning is best-selling author, coach Lisa Goldenthal.
Hello and welcome. I'm Lisa G, your host. You're at the top of your game, yet the game is changing faster than ever. Strategies that got you here aren't the ones that'll keep you here. The pressure is relentless, and the fear of obsolescence looms large. That's why I'm here. Welcome to the new podcast series, Disruptive: How to Be Gritty and Unlock Performance in Business, Mindset, Wellness, and Success to help you master disruption.
Thanks for coming, and I'll see you soon. Welcome back to the podcast. Today we're diving into the mindset shift, redefining leadership in the age of AI with Dr. Alfredo Borodowski, PhD, MSW, speaker, consultant, author of The Human Upgrade, The New Resilient Leadership for Peak Performance in the AI Revolution, one of my favorite topics. Alfredo has guided powerhouse brands like Motorola, Paramount, MetLife, transforming toxic cultures in a thriving high-performance environments, a global expert in positive psychology, purpose, and psychological capital. He helps leaders shift from burnout to brilliance, from fixing to flourishing. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Lisa, for having me. Of all you said, I would say I try.
Oh
Okay,
my
I
God.
give it my best to try to do all the things you mentioned.
Well, it's very impressive to me. I'd love to jump right in. What does it actually mean for leaders to shift from fixing people to nourishing them?
Yes, since childhood, everybody tells us what we do wrong,
Right.
okay, and what we need to fix. It's all about something you lack. And people who love you, Lisa, people who had the best of intentions, they're zooming into what you're failing at, thinking, but that by correcting it, they are doing you a favor. But we know today through positive psychology, the science of flourishing is that more you nourish, more you grow, and more the strength of the person get maximized. The people who will do you a favor in life are the ones actually who zoom on what you do great and help you do better. And those are the people you should be connected to, okay? There are so many things to fix that you will never going to fix them, okay?
Yeah.
Clearly we can improve, which is a different word. But stay with people who zoom on what you do great and help you do it better.
That's a great answer, because I myself have been there many times, being micromanaged, and somebody who wants to fix me. And nobody likes to be micromanaged. Nobody wants to be fixed. What do you do if you have that person in your life, in your relationships, in your business? How do you flourish when you're stuck with these kind of micromanagers?
Well, you have to be resilient and be confident. Okay, you have to work on that. I work with companies and they have performance reviews, and that already sounds bad. How are you performing? And then today we use a different language that has been created through positive psychology, which is forward reviews.
Forward.
Okay. Forward reviews, which is more about what are you going to do next better, rather than what you've done wrong. A completely shifting of the mind. And we know today through studies that for every negative, we need 3 positives to equate. The negative is much more powerful than the positive. Then when I work with managers about forward reviews, if they need to improve something, they always need to begin with 3 positive to reinforce that part of the person. And then if they need to go into fixing something, at least they have already all that goodwill in the bank, all the positive in the bank that can counterbalance the negative they need to bring. But you always begin by reinforcing the self of the other with the positive.
I love that. I mean, nobody wants to be micromanaged ever and criticized because criticism is not a positive forward movement. So I love that spin on things. And how can organizations build a culture that thrives on strengths instead of these deficiencies?
Well, there are 24 character strengths in positive psychology. They go from humor to love of learning, humility, gratitude, leadership, forgiveness. Then these are 24 character strengths which are found in every culture throughout time. They are the essence of who we are in terms of strength. Lisa, 7 out of 10 people in the United States do not know their character strengths.
Wow.
Okay, there is an epidemic of strength blindness.
Wow.
And we know that if you know your strengths, just knowing them, you can flourish 9 times more. And if you apply them 18 times more, which means that at your company, at your organization, at your home, the likelihood is that 7 out of 10, the person next to you, is functioning 9 times below what they could just by not knowing their strengths. Forget about applying them. Then the first thing I do when I go to a company, I have a strength workshop. And I make sure that everybody owns their strengths of and authenticity, motivation, loyalty, performance all go up. Then the first thing is that everybody has their strengths and the team has also a team profile. That's the first step. No matter what the problem is, no matter what they bring me for, we cannot have a productive conversation without a strength clarification. By the way, this is different from Gallup.
I was wondering if it was like the same as the basic strengths.
Yeah, because no, it's very different. I get a lot of this. We've done this strength. Look, Gallup is about talent. What skills? Positive psychology is about character, who the person is, the attitude of the person, motivation, okay, energy, authenticity, which is not about skills. It's about who is with you at work. And I tell you, the crisis today is not a crisis of talent.
Right.
We have very skillful person. The crisis now is about motivation, resilience, character, which is what the character strengths zoom on instead of what Gallup strengths are about. Very different.
That's so interesting to know because once you're knowing what your strengths are, then your organization can better tap into them so they can be more high performing and you can be more high performing. So I like it. And that way, what is like a real world example of where this like mindset shift transform performance and morale in the work that you've done?
Well, I published in a book, you mentioned it, The Human Upgrade, the new resilience leadership for the AI era, which is an application of all I know about positive psychology to the company of now and the future as we go into AI.
Wow.
And one of the things the book has is case studies throughout the book. And one of my favorite is SodaStream. The company SodaStream. Now,
Oh yeah. Yes, I
that
know.
one that pressurizes water and make it into soda at home. If you came to me when it began and said, Alfredo, invest on it, I would have said, go away. I'm not going to put money on a company where you make soda at your home. Okay? I'd rather go down the block and buy a bottle of soda. Okay? Who's going to go through okay? What did they do? What the secret of SodaStream? For the very early stages, they brought a team of positive psychology experts to the company.
Wow.
And I did a positive psychology assessment of SodaStream. And they came with a plan, including how to assess performance based on positive psychology, where it was based on strengths. Look what happened. They became SodaStream. It was a cultural change, not a change based on plans and papers, and it was performance, a culture.
Yes.
Culture before everything else. That's what, and SodaStream is a great case. I have at least 40 cases of companies that excel. Delta Airlines during COVID invested more on the human dimension than any other airline and came on top
Really?
of any other airline.
Well, I love that Delta Airlines turnaround. I know they had some bad press and they did turn this around quite.
Yes, during COVID, by working on the human dimension, taking care of their people, not firing, they did tremendous things all in the human, on strength base, using strength theory, and they came stronger than any other airline. Then this is science. Okay, this is coaching based on science. For everything I write in the book, there is basically an article, a journal, scientific journal I quote.
Wow. So can you do these strengths on the actual company itself, or is it on the actual employees that are working there?
Well, I do it on the employees, usually teams, and then we create a team profile.
I like
Okay.
it.
Then we work at both dimensions. And we work a lot in what is called overuse and underuse. I was at a team in Chile, working with a team in Chile, and 90% of them had honesty as the number one character strengths. And every meeting, they were fighting like crazy. And you feel comfortable with your strength, then you overuse it, and they were too honest. They have no diplomacy, no subtleties, they went straight for the kill.
No
Then
filter.
no filter. Then once we have a strength map of the team and they saw honesty there, they were laughing like crazy. And
That's funny.
we work on communication styles. How you can be honest and true to your strength, take into consideration the other person across the table.
Yes, I love that. Communication styles is so important. And I know you talk in the book about identifying our top 5 strengths. How can leaders practically uncover them and apply them?
I am going to tell you something great for those listening. Okay. Look, people ask me what you do, and I say, I am an optometrist.
Really?
A corporational optometrist. I go to organization and open people's eyes to the strengths, which are
Wow.
hidden. And everybody who's listening, grab your phone, go to your texts section, texting, and text the word positive. Just type positive and text it to the number 33777. That's simple. And I will send you, if you do that, the 24 strengths of positive psychology, a chart, 3 questions by which you can uncover your top 5 strengths, and 2 exercises to maximize it to 18 times flourishing.
Wow. I'm going to be doing that. So what is it again? Repeat it.
Very simple. This is called Textiful. It's I used to give people my website, Alfredo Borodowski. I cannot even spell it myself. Then I went to this system. Just text positive
Okay.
to 33777, and you will get back all the material. And
I'm going to do that.
I want to make sure that everybody who's listening know the top strengths. It's a game changer.
I love your focus on the positive. I mean, I know you're a positive psychologist, and I know that a lot of people don't even know what that is, but just I want to just jump back into you talk about resilience being so important. So, how do these strengths impact team resilience and engagement during disruption? Because we are obviously living in some disruptive times.
Look, once you have your strength, you're strong. I mean, it's as simple as that. Once you have your strengths, you are strong. And by the way, people should not be misled by the word positive psychology.
Okay.
I have a chapter on the book in which I say, once you give people their strengths, once you give people the purpose, once you give people the chance to grow, then there are no excuses.
Wow.
I do not accept mediocrity.
Good.
Okay, then there is no fixing, there is nourishing. But once you create the conditions for nourish and people do not jump into that wagon and remain mediocre, then you have the right and the obligation to show them the door. Then if people think that positive psychology is about the rosy, positive, and we see everything, no, we are tough. Because once we create the conditions of strengths, we want excellence.
Right.
And okay, no less than that.
I
Then
agree.
once you have your strengths, you become resilient because you are working at your tap capacity by tapping into those strengths. Then resilience is at the core of what we do.
I love it. So when you know your strengths, then you're resilient. And can you share another time when a leader's awareness of their strengths completely changed their approach to leadership?
Yes, optimism, is key. And optimism is defined, by the way, in positive psychology as the capacity of tell yourself a positive story when something goes wrong.
Yes, that's so helpful.
Okay, how do everybody has what is called an explanatory style.
Okay.
Explanatory style is which story, everybody is a writer. We write our life in our brain. And
Yes.
actually what is we write in our brain is more real than reality. Okay,
Yes.
it's called the RAS system in the brain.
Yes.
The RAS system filters reality through what you focus on.
Yes.
You see because there are 11 million pieces of information every minute coming to you, and you only can get 40 working for you. Look at the decision that the brain has to make. The brain makes a decision of what it's looking for. My kids used to play this game, going the highway many kids play that game of looking for license plates from different states.
Yes.
Okay, they find them. Why? Because they had on their RAS in the brain, creating a filter by which they focus on finding the license plates. If you are not doing that, then you never see them.
Right.
Then you see what you're looking for. Then optimism is actually creating in the self, training the mind to see the positive for the positive to become real, which is already out there. Then that's what,
Wow.
then and this is translated in the way leaders speak. And one of the things I do with leaders is more in coaching one-on-one, Lisa, is the use of language. How to write emails, how to write a text, how they deliver keynotes, how they talk at meetings to make sure that they use the language that creates optimism in reality. Key.
Powerful.
How you talk is the reality you create.
That is some
Definitely.
powerful stuff. I mean, before we wrap up, I knew your work reminds leaders that resilience isn't about grinding harder, it's about upgrading how we think, how we feel, how we lead. Do you have any, if someone's listening right now and they feel stuck and they're in like survival mode, what's like one small human upgrade they can make today to reconnect with their purpose and their energy?
Okay, then gratitude is at the center. For 5 days at night, sit down and write 3 things you're grateful about in detail. Simple things. Today I have lentil soup, like my grandmother used to make. It was a great day.
Wow.
Today I saw Peter, whom I haven't seen in 2 years, and he looked great and told me they lost weight. 3 things at night written down, not thought. It has to be written down on a journal. 2 sentences per each one of them, detailed for a week. Happiness is shown to go up for 6 weeks after that.
That's a powerful experiment. I'm going to do it because I focus on what I'm grateful for in the mornings, but I don't write it down. So this is a great human upgrade.
I do it at companies. I tell them, I do the Friday afternoon, 3 positive things that happen at work during the week. The results managers tell me is like, we cannot believe it. It becomes part of the routine at companies I work with, in which people are giving 15 minutes part of the job.
Wow.
There are always 3 things you can be grateful about.
Yeah.
Always.
It's so powerful. I mean, and for anyone who wants to dive deeper, where can they find your book, The Human Upgrade, and learn more about your work with organizations?
Well, my website, everybody should already guess it, is positive. AB for Alfredo Borodowski, positiveab.com. There they will get, when the book is coming out soon, I think, February, March. But the book, I tell you, the book is going to have at the end of each chapter a QR that will send you for each chapter 2 free workshops by which you can apply as a manager or leader what's on the chapter to your team, independently of me.
Wow.
Okay, step by step. Then it's very practical, and everything is backed by science. Then there are 2 things people can do. They go to Textiful positive 337777, and there is a calendar also if you want to talk with me one-on-one, no strings attached, or go to my website positiveab.com.
Well, thank you, Alfredo Borodowski. I really enjoyed the conversation and thank you for the work that you're doing.
Well, first of all, thank you for intelligent questions. Okay, and for make your show available to people like me who are passionate about something and they want to share it with the world.
Well, thanks for being a great guest.
Thank you.